to a special episode of Fab Race Mod Repeat. I got a question asked by a young gentleman out in the Midwest. Bartlett is his name. And he wanted to know, how does a drag car do a wheel stand? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm probably going to need more than one piece of paper. But let's see if this shows up good. It's a little thin. Alright, let's use the red one, because I'm out of regular size black Sharpies at the moment. First of all, in physics, there's a thing called a right-hand rule, and I'm going to go a little deeper than I probably need to here. But I want to answer two questions. You ever notice when a car is doing a burnout on a flat surface, a rear-wheel drive car, it tries to go to the right? Well, that's because of the right-hand rule. If you move your fingers in the direction of the rotating of a shaft, any diameter or shaft, in other words, a tire, crankshaft, axle shaft, whatever, your thumb will point in the direction of the force is moving. So if you're doing a burnout and you're on a smooth, slick surface like you in the burnout box, and the track's perfectly flat or lean to the right a little bit, you're automatically going to try to go to the right because the force is pushing that way, so the car's got to go to the right. By the same token, if you're on a leaned track, gravity is going to, as soon as you break up the weight of the car, and gravity is going to try to make you go to the left. But you ever notice when they go to the left, they wobble more? That's because the gravity and the angle is fighting that force that's being applied by the right-hand rule. And that right-hand rule has everything to do with the wheel stand. Now, let's draw us a racing surface. Let's draw us the back tire of a race car. Here's the rim. And in here we have a ring and we have a pinion. That pinion's connected to the drive shaft. The drive shaft may or may not be connected to a transmission or a clutch or whatever. And then that, of course, is attached to the engine up here at the front of everything. Alright. Let's just make this a big old nasty blower motor for conversation's sake. Okay, so if the tire is right-hand ruling this way, that means the pinion's pushing down on it, so the pinion is turning this way. Now, as long as this tire goes ahead and rolls as it's trying to go forward, everything moves out. You hit it and boom, you take off. Now, let's say you got a real good track and real big tires and a very good horsepower to weight ratio. Let's say you got 3 or 4 horsepower to every pound of weight of car. And you got enough tire to handle it. If the car hooks and everything happens fast enough, what'll happen is the tires will fully bite, but the front of the car hasn't moved yet. You're making horsepower faster than you're accelerating. So the back tire is going to try to go forward without the front tire moving, and that's going to let the pinion climb the ring gear. So let's draw a little bit bigger ring gear here. I'm going to skip right here where the pinion would be. Here's your pinion. And if you don't know what a pinion looks like, Google it. This will make a little more sense once you realize what the gears look like. This ring gear, in effect, is nothing but a ladder. And the pinion's the little guy trying to climb it. So if the ring gear is turning this way to move the car forward, because it's turning in the same direction as the wheels, then the pinion is turning down to make it go that way. So if we looked at it from the back, here's our ring gear. Here's our pinion gear meshed into it. If the ring is turning forward, it's being pushed down by the pinion. So the pinion's in effect climbing the ring gear like a ladder. So if the tire can't move and you got enough horsepower to overcome the weight of the car, and you've got it happening quick enough to overcome the car moving, you get a wheel stand. Now, there's two ways of wheel stand, and this is the difference in a wheelie and a hop. A hop is bad, what's commonly referred to as a hop. Have you ever noticed when you see some cars launch, they come up, they go out a certain distance, and they sit down and they move on out smoothly? That's a wheel stand. Sometimes you see a car jack up, slam down, bounce, slam down. That's a hop. That's the difference in pulling the wheels up and sitting the car back down, and jerking the car up, and you really don't have the power to handle it, and it falls back down. Now, it can also happen if the track's slick, or if a little fluid spills out and gets under your back tire while you're up in the air, it can drop you. But that's the difference in being jerked up and standing up. Jerked up is bad. When the car comes down, that's when you crush oil pans, bend A-arms, bend the front suspension, rims, brake things, shove the headers up and crack the heads, that kind of thing. A lot of ugly things can happen when you jerk one up and just drop it. But if you stand it up and move out, that's total weight transfer, and if you're good at it, that's about the quickest way to launch a drag car. So that's a quick overview of how a wheel stand happens. Anyway, I hope that answered your question. I hope you found that informative. I hope if you already knew what was going on, you found my little cartoon somewhat entertaining and interesting. As always, practice your skills, turn them into craftsmanship. You never know how far they will take you. Bartlett, if you got any more questions, I'd be glad to answer them. I really appreciate the nice email sent by you and your father. Have a great day. Until next time, this is Fab Race Mod Repeat.